So the actress Evanna Lynch, responsible for playing Luna Lovegood in the Harry Potter series, has come out and say that JK Rowling might have opened her mind a little bit. Let's talk about it. So we're going to get into these comments from Evanna Lynch, who played Luna Lovegood in the Harry Potter series, and her now new views on JK Rowling. But before we do that, please sign up for my email list and newsletter that's in the description down below. You'll get updates on all the content we put out, plus little personal blurbs from myself. Before we get into this story with Evanna Lynch, I wanted to touch on some comments that have been circulating regarding Matt Walsh's commentary on whether or not you're too harsh approaching a subject and how we should talk regarding people like Dylan Mulvaney and the transgender movement. I'm not going to get too much into the back and forth. If you want to know about all that, you can go to the links in the description down below, click those, get reversed in everything that was said. But I just want to put out, I guess, a disclaimer as far as how I will be communicating on this channel. I will always try to approach the subject matters that we talk about with compassion, for I feel that it is the best way to move forward. Now, that's not a detraction from what people like Matt Walsh or other conservative personalities who you might watch choose to do with their communication, but that's how I'll choose to go forward. When I was a woke leftist, what really reached through the darkness for me and spoke to me was compassionate conservatives who turned the camera on and were talking to me as if, they truly felt for me. They understood why I believed the things that I believed, but they wanted to present a different alternative. They wanted to show me a different way of viewing the certain situations that I was passionate about. And that is what really resonated with me. That is what stuck with me. And that is the tactic that I'm going to choose to use moving forward, because that's how I truly feel. When I turn on these cameras and talk to you guys, I am mostly trying to talk to people who were like me when I was 17 years old. And what worked for me was compassion. Now, compassion doesn't mean that you don't hold strength in your views, that you are not doing the work. It simply means that I want to try to understand the people who sit on the opposition and try to understand how they get to holding the views that they view. I don't see them as evil. I don't see them as people who are trying to bring about the worst in the world. I truly think that most people think they're doing what's best for the world. And if we're functioning on that assumption, we should talk to those people as if we truly believe that. Now, some people don't. Some people think that a lot of these ideas are rooted in pure evil and that people have evil intentions, and that's the way that you would probably talk to somebody who you think has evil intentions. I sit on the other side of that. Now, it's important to note also that our goals, for the most part, are the same. I want to see this whole gender debate back and forth ended. I want to see the end of children transitioning. I want to see the end of confusion being infused into people's lives who are young and malleable and don't know what to do with the world, and maybe they're feeling a little uncomfortable. But there's some goals in between there where we might differ. Matt, in his particular comment, says that his goal is to defeat, humiliate, and demoralize. Me? I would like to change minds and speak to people who are maybe sitting in the middle of these issues and don't know which way to go. And I think a compassionate plea to those people is what's going to influence them. Most people in this country are not standing on either extreme side of the aisle. They're sitting in the middle, looking up and wondering what's going on. And those are the people that I am trying to reach. So if you're not in the business of changing minds, totally okay. And maybe you value both of those arguments. You value both of those sides, and that's the reason that different personalities exist in this realm and why there's 100 different podcasts that talk about the same issues. So I just wanted to put that out there. If you want a strong, forceful, maybe sometimes too harsh, in my opinion, view of other people, I might not be the show for you. And, I'll continue to communicate in the way that I feel is the best to motivate others and possibly have them open their minds. And so far, I think we're doing all right. Now, let's get into this Evanna Lynch story. She seems to have gone on her own journey of having opened her mind a little bit on the subject of the gender debate, and particularly in her view towards JK Rowling. she played Luna Lovegood in JK's Harry Potter series, and she has a particular love for JK Rowling because she views her as a mentor, somebody who spoke to her in the words that she wrote. But when JK Rowling came out and started talking about the transgender debate and saying, no, we need to protect women, we need to define what women are, there's no people who menstruate, those are women, as she said in a very popular, humorous tweet. Evanna came out and sided with Daniel Radcliffe, who played Harry Potter, and said, I'm not in the business of marginalizing trans folk, and took a very strong stance against JK Rowling and her statements. She's now come out and said, quote, I was very naive when I was dragged into that conversation. I didn't even know there were two sides. I had a view of good and bad. I do have compassion for both sides of the argument. I know what it's like to be a teenager who hated my body so much I wanted to crawl out of my skin, referencing her struggle with eating disorders. So I have great compassion for trans people, and I don't want to add to their pain. She goes on to say, I understand being too triggered to be able to have a conversation. If you put me in a room with one of my doctors who treated me in the past, I'd kick off. I would want to scream and yell names. I do also think it's important that JK Rowling has been amplifying the voices of detransitioners. I had this impulse to go, let's all just stop talking about it. And I think probably I'm a bit braver now about having uncomfortable conversations. So it's just interesting to see what a lot of people do, and that is, I feel angry about this thing, I feel passionate about this thing. She did so in her left-leaning belief of trans people and wanting to protect them, not even from a point of understanding necessarily what the struggle involves, or even understanding what the debate involves. She recognized she didn't even know that there was two sides to this debate, but she came out and it struck something in her that made her feel angry. Her own past with eating disorders and her trauma, having gone through and undergoing treatment from different doctors who maybe didn't have her best interest at heart. And she let the vitriol take control of her, and that's how she responded. She responded attacking JK Rowling, but now that she's had some time to, marinate on the issue, think about what JK is saying, and maybe recognize that relationship that she once had with JK as a mentor and somebody who loved her and wanted to foster her growth and her flourishing in the world. And she goes, you know what? Maybe she's not some evil person trying to marginalize trans people. Maybe she is calling to attention an issue that I should be aware of and I should educate myself on. Now, she's not saying she stands on the other side of the issue now because she did a deep dive into the debate, but she's saying, I certainly understand what JK Rowling was trying to say. Now I understand why it's important to talk about detransitioners. Now I understand this impulse that I had towards hatred and vitriol with people that I disagree with. And I can chill out a little bit and think about why she would feel the need to say something like this. It's definitely not in the best interest of her career when she's, selling millions upon millions of books. She's got all these movie series coming out. She's got game series coming out. She's got the theme parks. It's a pretty big torpedo to the career to come out and make a strong statement like this and stand firm in your beliefs with compassion. But she did so anyway. And I think we'll find that a lot of people, although they might not get it in the moment, will get it eventually, and they will see, and they will return to those people who once were mentors or friends or were trying to foster their own development and go, oh, maybe I was wrong. So while Daniel Radcliffe of the Harry Potter series still remains on the side of criticism, we've got Luna Lovegood on the side of JK Rowling, and JK doesn't seem like she's going to be stopping anytime soon. So we're going to keep up with her story. I'm curious to get your thoughts on everything that we talked about today, because I'm sure there are many people who disagree with me, who disagree with my approach, or maybe appreciate my approach, but would have a different one themselves. So let's hear from you. Drop that in the comments down below. As always, let's have a healthy debate, and let's cheer on the people who decide to open their minds and let the hate drop for a little bit to see what's actually going on in regard to the debate. And Evanna Lynch has done that today in this article, which you guys can go and check out at telegraph.com if you'd like. And yeah, I think she should be applauded for having come forth and admitted it. She's an actress in Hollywood, and it's not the safest thing to do in that arena and in that field of work. So good for her. And I'll go on the record now saying there will be many more coming to the defense of JK Rowling and changing their minds due to the work that she is doing and she continues to do. But again, Let me know your thoughts. Please like, subscribe, click the notification bell to be notified every single time we drop a video for you guys, which is every single day, and sign up for the email list that I mentioned in the top of the video. You can go to the link in the description down below, and you'll get personal updates from me, plus updates on all the content that you missed throughout the week. Let me know your thoughts.